Guys, oh my goodness. This is breaking news related to Philadelphia 76ers. And this is a huge, huge deal. Now, again, this just happened, so I don't know the pieces that are involved in this trade. It could very well be possibly for a JJ Redick or a Markelle Fultz. I don't think. Actually, I take back Markelle Fultz. It does. I don't think that he will be involved in this deal, but it is a big deal nonetheless. Jimmy Butler on his way to Philadelphia, and you have to think about what the pieces, you know, Minnesota is going to get back in return. They're probably going to get some picks. They're probably going to get, someone young. I'm not sure who it's probably going to be. I think they're I think Philadelphia is going to want to hold on to JJ Redick, but again, this is for Jimmy Butler. This could possibly be for guys like Robert Covington or JJ Redick or Markelle Fultz. It could be like future picks. We don't know. Um, but again, this is huge news. So now you have the pairing of Joel Embiid. You have Dario Saric, who is great off the bench for these guys. You have Ben Simmons, and now you have Jimmy Butler. Their defense was already great with Joel Embiid on the floor. I believe there was a stat out there last year that they were like a top 3 team with Joel Embiid on the floor in terms of defense. So now that they have added Jimmy Butler to that wing defense, it's going to be crazy, especially if they have, retained a guy like Robert Covington. Darren. They traded Covington and Saric. Oh, shit. They didn't give up any picks? Wow. And a second rounder for Jimmy Butler and Patton. Okay, so that's the deal. So the deal was for Jimmy Butler, for Robert Covington, and Dario Saric, and a second round pick, I'm guessing next year. That's actually a really good deal for Philadelphia. They didn't actually get rid of much. It would have been good to retain Robert Covington to kind of have that straight wing defense. But overall, the 76ers did not give up a lot for a guy like Jimmy Butler. Now, let's be honest with each other. I don't think that they're going to retain Jimmy Butler past this season. Jimmy Butler has talked about New York. He's talked about Brooklyn. He's talked about the Clippers. So this is a deal to kind of give him that one and out, maybe find a way to retain him, find a way to keep him. And it's going to be right now. Jimmy Butler for scraps. Wow, Wolves are tripping. That's what I'm saying. Now, like we heard earlier in the season, guys, Tom Thibodeau did not want to trade Jimmy Butler at first. He really wanted to retain Jimmy Butler, and he wanted to wait for the right deal. Now, again, is this the deal you were waiting for? Like, why not go out there and give him to Houston for Eric Gordon and maybe push for a Clint Capella or somebody, right? They were going to get 4 first-round picks from Houston and possibly Eric Gordon. You're going to throw it out there for Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Now, again, those two are really good pieces, but they're not really going to help you in the long term. I think Minnesota needed some more shooting. I think Eric Gordon could have addressed some of those needs. But again, it's really frustrating when you think about it, right? The Timberwolves are holding on to Jimmy Butler for the best deal, and this doesn't seem like the best deal. The East is now even more fire, which is true. So, we all know Tibbs will be gone either during this season or after this season. Yes, that's true. There were reports saying that if Jimmy Butler did leave, that he wanted to walk because he didn't want to be a part of the rebuilding process. So I believe you are correct. Now, again, what does this mean for Philadelphia going forward? In the first game of the season, that Philadelphia, no match for the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics took care of business against them, and Kyrie Irving didn't even have a good game. We saw them go up against Toronto. Toronto took care of business against them. Now that they have added Jimmy Butler, do you guys think that that's enough to get them over the hump? I don't know. I want to see this team in action. Like I said, Jimmy Butler, he isn't an outstanding three-point shooter. So again, it does limit the shooting. They just gave up Covington and Sark, who both contribute from the three-point line. So a lot more of the heavier load is going to be on JJ Redick to hit those outside shots. Markelle Fultz, you got to get something from him, guys. Again, I don't really watch a lot of Philly games. I kind of see the highlights here and there. They have to get, Markelle Fultz has to get it together. These guys need shooting. Jimmy Butler and, Ben Simmons kind of working down there together. I don't like that. Joel Embiid, he's always going to do what he's got to do. But again, if they can somehow find a way to space the floor, Jimmy Butler can just hit those threes once in a while, Ben Simmons is responsible for the offense. I think that this can be a great pairing. I think this is going to be a great one-and-done team. Again, I personally do not believe that they can retain Jimmy Butler past this season because, again, it looks like he wants to be in a major market and get a max deal, get all the money. So, I think for this season in particular, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys go out and possibly, hang around the third seed. I think that the Raptors still have proven this year that they are different from past years with Kawhi Leonard and that they are really good. I think the Raptors will probably finish in the first spot behind Boston. It will be a neck-and-neck race, but I think Philadelphia just separated themselves as a third best team possibly. I like what I see from the Bucks as well. I see a few you guys to put in the Bucks at number 3. Guys, the Bucks have been playing great. They destroyed the Golden State Warriors the other night, guys. This is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? So they can either be third or fourth, but I think they'll be third. I really like what I see from Philadelphia. They've kind of struggled a little bit getting out of the gates, but if they can get it together a little bit past the All-Star game, figure out how they're going to space the floor, because I saw somebody say they gave up Covington and Sarek, who were 2 good role players, and shooters. Don't forget shooters. This team lacks shooters in the first place. Like I said before, this puts way too much pressure on JJ Redick. You don't know what you're going to get from a guy like Markelle Fultz. Sometimes he looks good. Sometimes he just doesn't look confident at all. I'm going to look at some of your comments, guys. Agreed. We need more shooters beside Redick. Yeah. Honestly, I would go out there and just get a veteran. Sign a free agent. Just go out there and get anybody. Because it's going to be a problem, especially in the playoffs when, it becomes more of a half-court thing. In the season, you're going to be fine. I think Philadelphia is going to roll past 50 games this year. Easy with this team. But in the playoffs, when it is slowed down, you're going to need some shooters on your team. No, they're the 3rd seed. Yeah. Raps got this still. They're looking really good. The fact that they beat LeBron the other night without Kawhi Leonard, that was a big thing for me. If you guys don't know, I'm from Toronto, so a little bit biased. But I do think Toronto has shown that they are the best right now in the Eastern Conference. Dario and Covington are hoopers. Y'all tripping. They're solid role players. I really do like those guys. They're sleeper in fantasy every single year. I don't know why people always sleep on them. Robert Covington can shoot and was first team all defense last year. Yeah, Covington is a sleeper. A lot of people really sleep on him, and I don't know why. Oops. I have Sark in fantasy. Is this good for his value? Going to Minnesota, I think it's going to be up in the air. I'm not sure what to make of it just as yet for Sark in Minnesota, because I believe, he actually, Cordy Jang, this actually might be good for Sark. I think that he might get some good minutes depending on how Thibodeau plays. You know that Thibodeau really likes defensive players, and I don't know. Thibodeau usually only plays defensive players, and he doesn't really give a lot of, leeway to players that can just play offense. But I definitely think, if he can find a way into that starting lineup, he will do a really, really good job, because now he doesn't have to worry about Joel Embiid. He doesn't have to worry about Ben Simmons. That forward/power forward center, his in-between game, he doesn't have a lot to worry about anymore. Towns will be down there. I think Sark can help space the floor for those guys as well. And I'm not sure about the Wolves, though. I think they might become a lottery team, to be honest. Jimmy Butler was the only one to really, show any kind of heart, if that makes sense. Wolves are not making the playoffs anymore. Agreed. I don't think they were going to make it anyway. I think Jimmy Butler was going to sit a ton of games this year if he wasn't traded, and eventually just leave. Who's the top three in the East? Right now, I have Toronto, Boston, and it's neck and neck between Philadelphia and the Bucks. But after what I saw from the Bucks last night, it's tough. It's tough. I think I'm still going to give it to the Bucks for now. I want to see what Philadelphia does. I want to see how they grow. Let's live stream again in about a month or two. Okay? Let's see what they look like in January, and then we'll go from there. Does anybody think the Sixers gave up too much? Think about it. They gave up a great defender, one of their best defenders, but they're getting Jimmy Butler back, so they're replacing that, but they're giving up two of their best shooters. I don't know how I like that. Bet D Rose is mad. He's hella mad. But you know what? More points for D Rose. D Rose is having a great season, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but holy crap. This man is having a resurgent season. Minnesota is the guy who trades Black Ops 2 for Battlefield 5. Oh, shoot. Enough said, my friend. This is bad. Dario, role player, he had 6 threes last night, and Robert Covington was a first-team defense, even though consistent. Yeah. If Covington could shoot, consistently, honestly, I think you'd have so much more value. He's one of those fantasy players that he'll go on a 10-game stretch of, 20-something points, 6 threes, 5 steals, and then he can go for 20 games for just, 4 or 5. But he'll always give you the steals. He's a fantastic defender. This is crazy. I feel like this was a steal. Jimmy is a two times the player and brings Covington's defense along with all-star power. I don't like it for the Wolves, but a steal for the Sixers. Absolutely. Trade Fultz for Kemba. Yeah. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. MJ's made some horrible deals, but I don't think he will, I don't think he's gonna get that bad. This is not gonna work. Jimmy needs the ball in his hands. This is what I'm saying. This is why I want to see this team. Can Jimmy kind of work on his shot to kind of, assist Ben Simmons? Because Ben Simmons can't play without the ball. Ben Simmons cannot shoot. And we all know this. He cannot shoot. So what, like, again, and I don't want Jimmy Butler carrying up the ball if I have a Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out. And that's why I want to say for now that the Bucks are still number 3. I want to see how that's going to work because it looks like Ben Simmons didn't really work on his shooting over the summer, which is really sad to say. Could you see a Kevin Love trade? Possibly. You know, the question is who wants to take that big deal that Kevin Love has and where would he fit? You know, I think the Cavs should probably just tank. It doesn't look like they're going to be very competitive. I think they should trade Kevin Love to sucker someone in for a first-round pick. What team can you do that to? Not sure yet, but he's still a solid player. I think that he can help a good team, but again, I don't know what good team is going to give up good pieces for Kevin Love at this point. '76ers gave up a little. I'm still in between. '76ers are going to be trash in the playoffs. It could go either way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jimmy Butler isn't that great of a shooter. I want to see what he looks like with playing besides Ben Simmons for a few months and see if they work it out. Face cam is frozen. Ah, damn. See if I can figure it out, guys. Damn, it's really frozen. All right, I'm probably still gonna roll like this. Make sure to subscribe, guys, if you like what I'm saying. Probably try and live stream again. In a few, I do upload once in a while. When I have a chance, I work 2 jobs, so it's hard. How far do you think Sixers are going? Like I said, I have to see it. I think they can get to the second round, but if they face Boston or, you know, Toronto, it's going to be because Kawhi is going to limit a guy like Jimmy Butler or Ben Simmons, and again, can't shoot right now. They have one shooter, which is JJ Redick. What are you going to do in the playoffs when it's half-court offense? You know what I mean? I don't think they got enough. Philadelphia still needs some shooters. Bucks way better than the Sixers. Right now, I agree. If the Sixers can figure out something, then let's see how that goes. Why did they do that trade? Sometimes when you have a good player in front of you, you got to take the opportunity, even if it doesn't look good on paper. It's good for D Rose. I agree. He's balling right now. I want to see what he does. He's going to average 30 now. D Rose averaging 30. I think that he could probably average around 20. You know, I didn't think he could before, but he has really, really turned back the clock since Halloween. What a day to do that too. On Halloween to drop 50. It's crazy. They should have gave them 2 extra first rounders. Philly or Minnesota? 76ers should be in a good position now. On paper, they have the talent. Let's see how they work that out. Sark is underrated. He's a 16 points per game player that makes huge shots and plays hard. Covington is a 3-and-D player. He was first team defense. Like I said, they gave up a lot. They got to find these pieces somewhere else. Whether they just find somebody that can shoot in the G League, or they have to make another trade before the deadline to kind of cancel out the shooting that they've lost. And yeah, I think they'll be fine on defense because they got Jimmy Butler, but they have to make up for the 3-point shooting that they've lost in Sark and also Covington. They should have gave Dario Sark and Fultz. I agree, but Fultz hasn't played well enough to garner any type of trade interest, so I don't believe that that would have worked anyway. Because, I mean, who really wants Fultz the way that he's playing right now? I don't know what Philadelphia did to him, because he was really confident he was scoring, but I don't know if someone made the suggestion that he had to change his shot, but they really destroyed Markelle Fultz. I hope that he gets it together, though. Simmons worked all summer on his shot. He just doesn't feel he needs to shoot. Well, I guess we'll see in the playoffs if that is true. Because if he doesn't start to hit those shots, at least some mid-range, you know what I mean? The 3 is important for Ben Simmons if he wants to be LeBron level, which I think that he possibly can be if he gets a shot. I mean, look at, Giannis. He has come so far, and he's starting to shoot that shot once in a while. He's really scary this season. Should have traded Fultz. Would have been a good idea to keep Covington. I agree, but again, Fultz hasn't garnered any type of trade interest. I don't think anybody would trade for Fultz at this current point in time. Pistons are still better than the 76ers. Oh yeah, didn't Blake drop 50 on them? We'll see. How is a team with 3 All-Stars going to be trash in the playoffs? Again, can they shoot? I think in the regular season, these guys are going to slash their way to the basket over and over and over again. But again, they're not going to be able to shoot in a half-court offense. They're not going to be able to do it because they know that Simmons can't shoot right now. At least that's what we know. That's what we've seen. Someone said that he was working on his shot. He just doesn't feel like shooting right now. Jimmy, once in a while, he can take that 3 and do very well with it. Joel Embiid can step out once in a while, but again, I don't know about consistently like a guy like JJ Redick. They need more shooters on that squad for them to do some damage against Toronto, Milwaukee, or Boston before I say that they can make it to the finals. They should trade him to the Lakers, no cap. Yeah, but the Lakers probably would have had to give up too much, like a guy like Ingram and Kuz. You just lose 2 good potential young players. You know what I mean? Why trade him when you can just wait out a year and possibly get him for the good money? Philadelphia will be able to offer Jimmy Butler a 5-year max, $190 million, regardless of their other salary cap situation, full bird rights. Any other team would be able to offer 4 years. Oh, last connection. Chance to re-sign Jimmy. I really do want to see what this team looks like. They're gonna have to find some other shooters, even if they're not good at defense. They need shooters. Point blank. Period. It's important for this team to do well. No way Pistons are nowhere near 76ers. In a 7-game series, Sixers will trash Pistons. I think I agree because I don't know if Andre Drummond can play with Joel Embiid. The 2 games that they've met this year, Andre Drummond has really been affected by Joel Embiid. Want to remind you guys to subscribe if you like what you're hearing. I know my face is frozen, Kind of have a weird ass face. Worst time to get your face frozen. Hair is looking awful. But I just heard the news and I wanted to jump on it. So make sure to subscribe if you like. I'll probably do some more live streams and, you know, once in a while I'll upload a video. Now, if they would have traded Markel and Dario, would have had Ben, Jimmy, Robert, power forward, Joel Embiid. That would have been a great lineup. That would have been a good, like, death lineup. Just to lay it on people. Sixers need a bench now. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. You crazy if you think the Pistons not making the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see. Finals. We'll see. Griffin looked like he's back. He looks good, but I don't know if they can beat a team like Boston or Toronto in a 7-game series. Maybe they can upset Milwaukee. Even think they can do that. Personally, Milwaukee looks way too good right now, and it looks like they've finally shaken off that young, we're gonna do dumb stuff to lose games. So we'll see if they can keep that up. You think Embiid, Simmons, and Jimmy will mesh well? I want to see. Possibly. I think Simmons has to keep the ball in his hands because right now I don't think he can shoot. I've heard otherwise from some people from Philadelphia who probably get more news and get more coverage than I do. I haven't seen the shot yet from Simmons to garner saying that, you know, they can space it out well, but Jimmy can hit it once in a while. He's not really super consistent from downtown, but Jimmy has to hit that shot to keep the spacing well. So I think they can figure it out because they're all professionals, but right now it's really tough to say. We'll talk about that at the halfway mark at the All-Star game. We'll talk about some predictions and see what this team looks like. 76ers are retarded. No, it could be a bad trade. They really gave up a lot of shooters, but when you have an all-star and you know you probably weren't going to get past Boston without Jimmy or Toronto without Jimmy, you're going to do. Sixers should have gotten Tatum. Boston's smart. Everybody wanted Mark out. Jason Tatum just slid down to Boston. Look what he's been doing. He's been great. Wilbon knows about this story. Oh, from ESPN? I feel like we're back in 2011 or 2012. Blake is not injured. D Rose is back. LBJ has the headband. Yeah, that's true. D Rose is playing like an MVP again. Blake Griffin is not doing terrible like he was the past few seasons. And LeBron had to throw back on the headband because these young guys are starting to piss him off. Lakers fans triggered. They got to wait one more year. Do you guys think that they'll get Anthony Davis in 2 years? I believe he still has 2 years left on his deal. It doesn't look like Jimmy or Kawhi wants to play for him. They rather play for the Clippers, which is crazy. Now my friends are getting in. You see that trade Philly got? When I saw on Instagram they say Jimmy Butler has been traded to the 76ers, I thought the news was fake. It's true. It kind of came out of nowhere. We all thought he was going to go to Houston because they were making some really good trade offers. I mean, 4 first-round picks and possibly Eric Gordon. But I know a lot of you guys are thinking like, Minnesota didn't really get a lot. They got a first-team all-defensive guy in Robert Covington, and they got a shooter, 2 good shooters. One when he wants to be. What do you think about this? I personally think that it could pan out. I think right now Minnesota is getting more spacing for Towns and Wiggins when they want to go one-on-one. They can kind of dish it off to one of those guys for a shot. Philadelphia, they're getting a superstar, Jimmy Butler. We're going to have to see how they mesh because, again, none of them are really outstanding three-point shooters, so spacing can be a problem at times for these guys. And Jimmy Butler also needs the ball in his hands once in a while, too, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Celtics in 3. You mean like in a playoff situation? Or do you mean like they're third in the East? I still think they're second, even though they've been struggling a little bit. I want to see what would have happened if they wanted to trade Ben or Joel. They definitely would have got a lot more. Awesome trade. Sark is slow at times, not quite good at D and offense. Jimmy is definitely an upgrade. He is, in terms of star power. But you've lost 2 good shooters. You got to pick it up somewhere else. Where's the bench they need to trade for a better bench? They do. They do need to trade for a better bench. They have been depleted very heavily in terms of offense and the three-point ability, which I've said before will really hurt set. Trade and screams. I'm looking at Philly like bad trade for Philly. It was a bad trade for the Sixers. No, I think AD will go to Boston or New York, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of people continue to say, since he's a part of Clutch Sports, which is LeBron James and Rich Paul, that he will go to LA with LeBron. Boston has the pieces. I think they can trade for him if they really wanted to. But we'll see what happens. I mean, LeBron has to get someone. It looks like everybody doesn't want to play with LeBron in LA. Like, what the hell? LeBron's in trouble if nobody wants to come. He's going to be pissed off to keep playing with those young boys. He never lose like this before. Nick, you can't live in Philly, bro. We needed Jimmy. It's a good trade. Philly lost their whole bench. You can't have your starters play 30-plus minutes each game, 82 games, and a year-plus playoffs. Then you only have J.J. Redick as a shooter. Agreed. They're going to have to rest these guys throughout the season. Ben and Jimmy are going to do great. Let's see how they mesh. Trade D Rose to the Rockets. He'll be a beast off the bench for Harden. They should tank. They should let D Rose, while he's on this stretch, kind of go for it one last time with a good team. I agree. It's being wasted in Minnesota. I don't think they're going to be very good, even though they did pick up some good assets. It's only because they're in the West. If they were in the East, if Minnesota was in the East, I think they could have been a lot better, but they're playing in the West. Too much traffic out there. Covington could only catch and shoot, and Dario was ass. And that's the thing. You need catch and shoot players. In fantasy, I think so. I think since the Minnesota Timberwolves might not make the playoffs, I think he will have, especially. Gotta go down a bit. Should trade to get Terry Rozier. Philadelphia do need a shooter. They need shooters. Philadelphia is gonna be stuck at the third best team, stuck in mediocrity. And if you only know how I felt with the Raptors always getting slapped by LeBron. Felt with the Raptors, always getting slapped by LeBron. It's annoying. Yeah, but the 3-point ain't get us nowhere, bro. Last year, those guys ain't show up. It was sad. We need a killer in the clutch. And we all bench shoot for shit, bro. And Jimmy attitude, which is true. Jimmy will make these guys play harder. We all know Jimmy doesn't like slouches that will make him play much harder than they are right now. We'll see how they do. I think they need a three-point shot in a half-court set in the playoffs. We all know it slows down, but maybe they can figure out a way to not use a three-point shot and slow down teams with their defense. Philly needs someone to step up off their bench, or they're never going to get past it. Out of the players in the trade, who would have helped if they were traded to another team? Explain a little bit further. Out of the players in the trade, who would have helped if they were... Who would have helped if they were traded to another team? Oh. You mean like who's going to help the most? Louis, New York City? That's a good name, by the way. I like that. But explain a little bit further. I'm a little bit lost. I'm sorry. I woke up like 2 hours ago. Bro, we good with this move. I love Sark, but he's soft, and a lot of the fake Warrior shit we was on last year got exposed the minute we played Boston, offensively and defensively. We needed Jimmy. And we'll see if he brings a new attitude to Philadelphia. Minnesota in the East would be second-round exit at best. I could see them beating the Raptors, Boston, or Cat too soft. True. Sometimes he's inconsistent. Oh, out of the players in the trade, who would you rather have? I mean, best shooters in the league: Curry, J. Redick, Joe Ingles, Nikola Mirotic. Yeah. I have no problem with only funny white guy. Oh, that's a hilarious name. Yes. Chris Middleton is crazy. Man's the new three-point leader in the league. He's joined LeBron in headband season. All right, guys. This stream was fun. Sorry for the frozen face. Look at my dumb ass. I'm just stuck mid-speech. Hair's looking kind of ugly, but whatever. Guys, this was really, really fun. Let's do this again sometime. Dope stream. Thank you so much. A-double. Subscribe if you like what you've seen. And again, I will try and stream more. If you guys want some different type of content, let me know. And make sure to subscribe. Leave a like. And yeah, guys, we'll talk very soon. Peace.